Hello Scorpio, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul and I'm going to be reading the tarot for you today. This reading is for the middle of January 2023. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now we're going to take a look at these general energies. It's very important that you remain open and honest to whatever might come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. We've got a Knight of Cups here. Interesting. I feel a lot of compassion today. Oh, and we've got some fire. Okay, this is going to be a nice kind of almost like a healthy competition kind of thing. But let's see where we're going. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, and for that we're going to use the Antique Anatomy Tarot deck. This is a very, very special deck. It's one of my favorite decks. I'm still getting to know it a bit, you know. It is pre-shuffled, so we're going to take one from the middle randomly, leave it right there. Don't touch it. We're going to wait till the end. And we're going to see if that will, you know, tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end. Okay? We got some major arcana and some earth. We've got major arcana. We got some earth, fire, water. So, very heavy on the major arcana today. And I think this is it's going to be quite interesting to see how these kind of archetypes are being activated in your life right now. The first card that we pulled out, of course, was this Knight of Cups. I feel like you're a very, like, compassionate and nurturing and giving person, right? Like, maybe compared to most people or to maybe other people that you know, I feel like you're the one who is just really always ready to help out, always can understand how other people are feeling, and you always want to make sure other people feel okay, want to make sure they're taken care of. You know, you're very generous with your water energy like that. And I think you really genuinely care about other people. I really do. But of course, we have also kind of a little bit of the opposite of that. I think if we're honest with ourselves, we all have a little bit of both, you know. I think there are times where you need to kind of turn off that intense care and concern for others and have a little bit of this is kind of the opposite, right? This is the water of fire, whereas the Knight of Cups is the fire of water. So it's almost like inside out, right? So while you have this intense sense of concern and compassion and care, you want to be nurturing, you want to take care of everybody, there are times when you need to turn that inside out. And you need to, one, take care of yourself, right? Pull some of that concern back and give it to yourself, right? And then there are also times where you need to have more of the tough love kind of attitude. You know, and maybe this week, this time of your life is more about the tough love than it is for the compassion, the concern, the nurturing and taking care of. So I feel like you're going up someone with a blanket, you know, to wrap them, keep them safe and warm, you know. But we have this Queen of the Wands this week. So this is like a kind of a different inside out kind of energy. Like I said, I think it's you directing some of this care and concern inward, and I think it's really you standing up for yourself and having this kind of tough love vibe, okay? In the recent past, we've got a 7 of Wands here. I wonder if there's been somebody recently who has kind of had a bit of an emotional like reaction toward you or almost like an outburst, okay? I'm getting this feeling like you were at the receiving end of someone's pretty bad attitude, honestly, okay? And this could be a friend, family member, it could be someone that you live with, work with, could be, you know, a romantic partner. I'm getting an H name somewhere here. I'm seeing the letter H. I think there might be an H involved. But they, for whatever reason, have just kind of thrown some of their anger at you. They've kind of let some of their negative emotions loose, and you've been on the receiving end of that. Which is unfortunate because you are always this person that, you know, is very welcoming and very nurturing and warm and caring for other people. But I think there's a limit to how much you can take. Okay, and that I really believe is why we've got this Queen of Wands coming out. You need to flip this kind of inside out, and you need to stand up for yourself and not willingly just kind of allow this energy into your life. Okay, there comes a point where you need to draw the line, I think. And I don't think this person really meant any harm. I don't think that they're doing it intentionally or that they have any kind of malice or ill intent. I think that they're just going through something, and some of the negative, residue from that emotional residue came your way. Okay? But I don't think you deserve that. And I think you need to correct the situation before it gets worse or it starts to affect you too much, which I can see with this Five of Cups that it already kind of is. I think you're looking at this as being a disappointment. Maybe you never thought this person would, have that kind of little blow up or that outburst, And so I can see that it's causing a little bit of a stir in your emotions right now, right? It's bringing about a little bit of this fire energy from this water, but I think that's a good thing. I think if you feel upset about this, you need to feel upset about this. Don't try to deny that feeling, you know what I mean? Recognize it, embrace it, and use it as motivation for the future, right? For taking action, for doing things for yourself to protect yourself and keep yourself safe, and to rectify whatever it is that's going on here. Okay? Because I can see that you're looking at this as an upset. Almost, I'm getting the sense that you can't really believe that this person had this response or that they had this outburst. So it's kind of disappointing. Kind of surprising too, in a way, right? But I feel that you're someone who is very aware of their emotions, So you recognize this in an objective way, right? That you are upset about this. And as much as you are a very giving and very generous and very loving person, there's a limit, right? There is a limit. And let's go to the immediate future now before we get into some of this, before we get into all these major arcana cards. The immediate future, I see things coming back into balance and harmony. I think through your fire energy, through the activation of this fire, I think that you are going to restore the balance. The harmony of the universe will be restored again. And this is cooperation. This is, I think, everybody kind of getting over this incident and apologizing or whatever. And it's through this force and fire of yours. It's through this. You don't like this. This doesn't come out very often, but when it does, watch out, right? And I think sometimes it's called for and good for you, because this fire energy with this Seven of Wands being directed at you, you didn't deserve that. It was nothing that you did. It wasn't called for, right? So you have to activate a little bit of this Queen of Wands, just enough to take care of business and to restore the balance and the harmony of the universe once again. Okay, so it seems a pretty simple thing going on this week, but it has this emotional component for you. It has this kind of this upsetting vibe to it. You don't like bringing out this fire energy, so there has to be a good reason for it when you do, and I think there is. And now we're going to move to all of the major arcana that we have. I think you've spent a lot of time doing spiritual work. Okay, I think you have. This is at the bottom of the path of the dove. It's kind of the underlying, the underlying force in your life, the underlying theme. And I think this is you really doing the work, doing the spiritual work, the introspection, exploring all aspects of yourself. I really think you have a strong knowledge of yourself. And I think that is probably why you seem to have such control over this, the water-fire kind of duality, right? These modes of expression or modes of experience. that you can kind of switch between those when you need to. And like I said, I think you're very objective with your feelings too, where you can see that, okay, yes, this is affecting me in a negative way and I don't like it. And then you can activate that fire energy. And it's because you've had a lot of what I would call spiritual experiences in the past. I think you're someone that throughout your life, maybe you've had moments of just tremendous clarity that kind of were unexpected, almost like not like a deja vu kind of thing, but just out of nowhere, you'll just get hit with this tremendous light and energy, and you'll come to understand something either about yourself or about the universe, or something that you weren't really consciously thinking about at the time, right? Kind of comes in a flash, you know? And I think that it's because of all of this really authentic work that you're doing. I think you have a very strong character. I think you're very much like this Sun card, right? You're very in control of your elements, and you are just kind of self-sustaining, and you are fueling your own progress. You know, you're very independent, I think. And so with all of this fire energy, all of this abundance of light and love, I think you have a lot to give. And that is why we see this, you know, this Knight of Cups here. Because you do have so much within you. You have so much of this strength, this energy, this love and light built up from all the work that you've done. I think you've been, you know, whether you've known or not, I think you've been on a spiritual path for a long time. Perhaps even since you were a child, you maybe remember some kind of strange circumstances where you would just get a flash of light or of understanding or of knowledge, right? And maybe it came in the form of a feeling rather than an intellectual thing, because I'll tell you, we don't have a lot of air in the reading today. We have some, and we'll get to that. But we don't have a lot of the air. We don't have a lot of swords. So I think that these moments of these revelations or these flashes of insight or of, you know, blessing or of grace or of light, I think they take the form of emotional knowledge, you know, feeling vibes, rather than information like data, you know, intellectual data. But I think I'm feeling like you've had these experiences since you were a child. And, you know, maybe you don't remember all of them, but I think you could probably pick out one or two that are still very vivid for you. Anyway, more major arcana cards to come. We're going to move over to the Path of the Serpent now. I do apologize for the squeaky ceiling here. I have an old house, let's just say that. So your general energy, I see with this Knight of Discs that you are very much trying to live a practical life, right? You're trying to be of service, you're trying to be generous, you're trying to be useful and get things done. You're trying to contribute, right? But I feel like you have this vibe of being the leader, okay? You're trying to organize everyone around you, or organize your own life, your own environment in such a way that it's going to have the most practical benefit. It's very feng shui kind of, you know? There's a flow of energy in your environment that leads to your productivity. And I think that's very important to you. I think when things are disorganized or a little bit out of whack, I think you feel that, and that kind of upsets your subtle sensitivities. So I think that you like the structure, you like the practical flow of things in your environment, right? And what does this have to do with this incident, with this kind of emotional outburst? Well, I think that disrupted your flow and your harmony, right? And it certainly caused the disruption in your emotional body, right? Which I think is where you probably do a lot of your perceiving with the emotions. I think you're very sensitive that way. So we had some disturbance there. This, you know, the Four of Cups has become the Five of Cups. There's motion now, and it is it's the disturbance, right? So your general energy, I feel, is this need for the organization, the rhythm, really, right? It's not a stagnant kind of a stagnant order. It's a flow and a rhythm, right? So there's a subtle difference there. Now, in terms of your environment, this is more of that kind of flow and rhythm. This is the Star card. This, I think, is you understanding on a very spiritual way, very spiritual level, how you are this like divine being, right? You're this kind of, I really feel like you're an enlightened soul, you know, and I'm not just trying to flatter you. I really feel like you have had a lot of these experiences in your life. And I think you're understanding that while you are unique and you are a star of your own show, you're a star, you're the center of the universe, you're the star of your show, the star of your life, so is everybody else. And I think this affords you that respect, that love, that generosity that we saw over here with the Knight of Cups. Because you recognize everyone else as the divinity that they are. Everyone else is also the star of the show, the center of the universe, the star of their own life, right? And that's what this star card here is talking about, because this is in the position of your environment. So I think you really recognize that in other people. You see the divinity in other people, and it gives you this sense of compassion, of love, of real affection for people. You know, I think you are the type of person that will, you know, bring blankets to people that are cold and shivering. You know, complete strangers, that you will offer, you know, the clothes off your own back to give to someone who's in need. I feel that kind of compassion with you. But again, it's not always like that. You can't be that 100%. You have this fire in you as well. And I think this is important because there's that balance. There's that equalization of pressure from without and from within, from the water and the fire. The same way, you know, the same way stars are formed and the same way that stars function, right? Because their gravity is strong enough to balance the expanding force from the nuclear fusion, right? So it's equilibrium is what we're talking about. So you recognize other people are in the same boat as you. We're all fellow travelers, all fellow sufferers, really, right? And now the next card that we see that's really activating in you is this Moon card. Now, the Moon card is usually about deception and nightmare and all of these dark kind of things. But let's try to focus on the sunshine a little bit, right? I think this is talking about you really being on the brink of something new in your life. Okay. Now I know we're going from a really strange incident over here, but maybe that is the catalyst for some kind of important change coming. I think you're right. The sun's right, almost poking through the horizon. It's almost cresting over the horizon. It's almost time to really start this new day. Okay. And this sun, well, it's the same sun as this. And it's the same sun that everyone else has, because we are all stars in the company of stars, you know. So what is the new dawn for you? What are you waking up to today? What is this new path, this new phase of your life? Are you moving into a different era of your life, right? What is it that's important to you now? You know, what kind of life are you leading? Are you still in your career kind of phase of life? Are you still getting established financially, career, with family? Are you past that? Are you now looking for something that is more spiritual? We see a lot of these spiritual energies being activated now, right? A lot of these major arcana, a lot of these archetypes are really being activated. So I think the moon here is saying, look, you've got to decide what this new phase of your life, you know, what is your purpose going to be in this phase? Because I think it's very important for you to have to set an intention, to understand your path and where you're headed, and kind of what your life has been leading up to. How do you want to occupy your time now? Right? What is it that you're focused on? What is the work that you're doing? When I say work in a reading, I'm not talking about career, job, employment, the work that we do for money. Man, it could be that sometimes, yeah. But I'm talking about the work. What do we focus on every day? What are we working toward? What are we working on in our lives, in ourselves? Okay? And that's the moon card. I think we've got to figure out what we are, what is the plant that we're trying to grow, that we're nurturing right now? What are we working on in this phase of our life, in the coming phase? Because this moon card is about a new phase that's right, kind of, you know, right across the horizon there. Okay. Finally, we've got the Wheel of Fortune card. So this is really your sense of destiny, and the path that you're on is really activating. So this is it goes right off of this moon card, right? Which is very much like the sun card. This sun is rising. This is your path. This is the new phase of your life that you're entering into, that you're waking up to. And it's going to have the most tremendous success depending on what kind of focus, depending on what choices you make. Okay? So we can connect this to this kind of emotional outburst that we saw over here, and say that depending on how you handle that, that's going to be your karma for what what the end results are, what the outcome is. Your decisions are directly going to affect the following circumstances. Every decision we make is kind of a new path in the universe, right? A new timeline, so to speak. Every decision, every moment, whether we choose to say something or choose not to, whether we choose to activate the kind of fiery, defensive almost energy or not. Everything is a decision. Even not deciding, even not doing anything is a decision, you know? And depending on those decisions is going to be how the rest of your life is going to manifest and materialize. And this is Jupiter energy. This is saying, look, put the faith, the hope, and the trust in spirit, in the divinity, in your own soul and spirit, your own star, right? Which again is but one star in the company of stars in the universe. Everyone is equal in that way, at least, okay? So this is really, your sense of destiny. What is it what kind of destiny are you going to create? I know it's kind of a contradiction, right? Or is it free will? Is it destiny? Do we have choices, or is it all predetermined? I think both. I think a lot is predetermined, but a lot is left to choice. It could be that the destination is going to be the same no matter what, but how we get there, the route that we take, the experience that we have, that's unique. That's completely based on choice, completely dependent on your actions and your decisions. How we get there, that's the important part of the journey. We're all going to be in the same place at the end, right? How we get there is what's important. The experience that we have along the way, the fellow travelers, the fellow sufferers that we connect to along the way. That's what's important, I think. I think that's what's important. Anyway, let's look at this mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. A lot of really intense spiritual energies around you this week, okay? And probably for the rest of the month at least. I think this is the kind of transition phase for you. I wonder if this is going to be an Aeon or Judgment card. Well, this is the Page of Coins, or the Princess of Discs. And this is a wonderful card. This is showing a future that is pregnant with potential, right? This card is, really about this next phase of your life, this future, this new era, this kind of the new dawn, right? Whatever this next phase of your life is really in its infancy. So you're just starting out, and you have time to make course corrections, to figure out your trajectory, to figure out what you want to be working on, It's not an urgent life or death dire matter. You have to figure it out right now. It's still, you can feel it out. You can ease into it, right? But there's so much possibility. It's literally pregnant with possibility. Now, I like the Antique Anatomy Tarot. I don't think that this Page of Coins does the card justice, in my opinion. The Thoth deck with the Princess of Discs is that card that is pregnant with potential. There are infinite possibilities for what you can work on, what you can do with all of this energy, right? But this card is reminding us that it's still in its infancy. You can ease into it. Take your time, enjoy it. Enjoy the transition, enjoy the process. Enjoy the growth from the planting of the seed to the mounding up of the soil, to the watering, to the sunshine, to the watching it sprout, to trimming it, little plant food, whatever it needs. So ease into it. Enjoy the process. All right. Thank you again, Scorpio, for being here and letting me read for you. We're going to take a look at the extended just for a little bit, see what other energies want to come through. If you want to become a member to the channel, you can click on the link that is up here or in the description box, and that'll take you where you need to go. All right. So this was your mid-January 2023 tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot.